What's up, y'all? It's the Baller Bet podcast. I'm here with my boy Sosa, the locksmith. What's up, bro? Crushed the game yesterday?
Another day, another dollar. You know how we go. You know how we do. It's just, another day in the office. Another day in the
I
office.
slept on the Utah game.
Hey, man, that's where the money was. I try to tell people I went heavy on 3 picks, and they all hit. I got lucky on the first one, but that's part of the game. I had over 55.5 first quarter. Got me exactly 56. Nice little tray ball to end the quarter by Memphis, who played like shit to start the quarter. But they got it done for me. And then obviously I had the Jazz covering, and I had the game going over, which at this point is a formality with Donovan Mitchell in the lineup. Like, they're going to score, and they're going to give up points just based off them playing with pace and shooting a bunch of threes.
Yeah, I mean, the first game the Jazz played horribly, so it's perfectly natural to assume that, the Jazz would come back to their heights. They have Donovan Mitchell, injection of a dynamic player in their roster.
And that's the most important part for them is him, because he allows everyone to just simply play their role. He allows other guys to play freely and comfortably.
Are you surprised that he looked like 100% as soon as he came back?
You know what? And the thing is, he still hasn't had a really good game since he's come back. He's played well, but he hasn't really played great. Like I said, it's just his presence is what matters for that team. Not just him performing at an extremely high level. It's his presence. His presence makes a huge difference for them. It's like knowing your big bro's there, or like knowing like the guy who you're dependent on is there. You know what I mean? Because he's a legit star. You know what I mean? When you have your star, you're gonna be a lot more comfortable. You don't have to extend yourself or be anything that you're not, and that makes it easier for that Utah team. Look at how freely they played. Conley, whatever he wanted. Obviously, also you kind of knew Conley. He wanted to go out and play well in Memphis. Like, we know that. Whether it's said or not, we know that him being traded there, and they love him there. I just like the nicest guy ever. Never had a technical foul his entire career.
Crazy stat.
Never. Nicest guy ever in the history of the NBA. But like I said, he showed out. He hit a bunch of threes. He played his game, and he's able to do that with Mitchell. Everybody's able to do their regular job with Donnie on the floor. Whether he performs at an extremely high clip or not, everyone else is going to just do their job, and that's why they have a shot to win. I mean,
this series will, in all honesty, it'll likely be done in 5. The Grizzlies have shown like some spurts where they can hang with them offensively, but their defense, like especially when the starters come out of the game, the defense is just too leaky to be able to stop a team like the Jazz that just shoot at such a historic clip. So this series is probably going to be done in 5. Yesterday was a great day for me. Made 3 units off the Chelsea game. Chelsea, Champions League champions. The whole world's blue right now. Shout out to everyone that's watching right now, too. Good morning to everyone. I'm here with my boy, Sosa the Locksmith. It's the Baller Bet podcast. I know it's a long weekend, Memorial Day in the States. Shout out to everyone that's celebrating the holiday. It's my guy knows a guy, Sosa the Locksmith. Let's get to it, bro. It's 4 games today. We'll just go through it express. I'll be honest. I woke up today feeling a bit risky. Good weekend so far. I made quite a bit of money this weekend off the sports betting. It's kind of crazy. Yesterday overall, personally, I went 4-1.
Yesterday was wonderful.
Then, if anyone was with us on Twitter Spaces as well, I had the Minnesota Twins. I placed a kind of a large bet on them live to hold on yesterday. So shout out to everyone that's been able to interact with us and just kick it with us. We're here to make good predictions. We play these prediction markets. This is what we do. This is what we do every single day. We make predictions and we cash on them. So if you guys can as well, follow Sosa the Locksmith on Twitter. That's my dog right here. We're gonna be.
I have a YouTube channel as well, but I'm before I actually put that out, I'm doing a little bit of exterior work.
As soon as it's set up, graphics, all that. Yeah,
Absolutely. Got to do things correctly.
What's up, Calder? Good morning, bro.
What's up, everyone?
Yeah, shout out to Chelsea, bro. The whole world was against us yesterday, just like against Real Madrid. Cashed out on that. Cashed out against Man City. Man City will probably never win a Champions League title. My Leafs lost last night. I laid off the Leafs, but I think we're going to close the series out in Game 7. But the Leafs lost against the Canadiens last night. There was a lot of money on the Leafs last night. A lot of money. If you guys are into hockey, it was an unusual amount of money for a hockey game. The Leafs had like 93, 95% of the money piled up on their side. Very, very abnormal for a playoff game in any sport. Got some pretty quality results. All 4 favorites covered in the NBA yesterday. Favorites are playing pretty well against the spread so far in this postseason. But today, it might be a different story. I'm not exactly sure. I'm feeling risky. Let's go straight into the first game.
Same
Knicks,
for me.
Suns. Oh, no, not Knicks, Suns.
Knicks,
Suns,
Hawks.
Lakers. Yeah, Knicks, Hawks.
Big Trey, Ice Trey.
Game 4.
Hooping.
Hawks are up 2-1. What's your take on this game? I'll give you my pick in a second, just short and sweet, like so.
Obviously just my takeaway from Game 3. I believe that in the second half, that Tom Thibodeau basically used that for analysis. I don't believe that he had much game planning in the second half. I feel like he knew his team was out of it, and when you're a young team playing from behind like that, it's not necessarily throwing in the white flag. It's seeing what Atlanta's given you on the offensive end, because what you're doing is not working. And also, people were saying, why didn't they just run the double team at Trey? See, the thing is, you can't run the double team at Trey to start the game usually, because they have a plan for that after they've seen it, right? You have to run that at him in spurts depending on the lineup. It can't be the same thing, because now after Game 2, where you locked them up in the third and fourth quarter, and you gave him those problems where you forced the ball out of his hands. When they're prepared for it, it's a different story. You saw that they came out prepared for that. The other guys hit shots in Game 3, and that was all she wrote. New York never got any sort of rhythm on either end, and the game was over. So
yeah, and they're 2 young studs, you can call them. They did not perform particularly in the second half. R.J. Barrett was a dud.
And
these guys are young. It's their first playoff experience. This is not one thing. One thing we're seeing is that the New York Knicks, as you can see, are 46-28 against the spread so far this season. They're 1-3. 1-2 in the playoffs so far,
which is quite nice.
But this is the playoffs. We're seeing that this is not necessarily the same New York Knicks team from the regular season. But today, I like the Knicks because I'm backing the coach, Tom Thibodeau. He has an established track record in the playoffs of being resourceful with the talent that he has.
Correct.
And
he knows his personnel.
Particularly in Game 4, we have a large sample size of Tom Thibodeau coach games from when he was coaching the Chicago Bulls. When he's down 2-1, this guy's lights out. The Hawks, on the other hand, are playing really, really well since they hired Nate McMillan. They have one of the best records in the league since that day. But
hold on, real quick note about that. and I always say this because this is something that people do not take into consideration. Nate McMillan's first game as the Atlanta head coach was Bogdanovich's first game back from injury. So, yes, Nate McMillan should get a lot of credit, but they also play extremely, way better with Bogdanovich in the lineup. That's why when you actually hear these players give interviews about Nate McMillan, they try their best to not throw Lloyd Pierce under the bus, because the players feel responsible for getting Lloyd Pierce fired. Listen to all the interviews you hear, like Trae Young. What have you thought about Nate? They feel that way. They feel guilty for getting Lloyd Pierce fired because they knew they had the talent the whole time. It's just they had injuries and they couldn't get it together.
I like that you brought up Lloyd Pierce as well, because there's psychology involved as well. These are professional athletes that are playing for contracts. They're playing for legacies. They're playing for pride, for their communities, all sorts of stuff, So we know how big Lloyd Pierce was, and you actually brought that to my attention a couple of weeks ago. Shout out to everyone in the chat as well. What's up, guys? Yo, Ponda Marks, Colder. Good morning, everyone. You brought to my attention as well that Lloyd Pierce was a big member of the community in the Atlanta area. They loved him. So they probably liked him a lot off the court as well. These guys, it lit a fire under their ass.
The players didn't want to see him get fired. But
when a coach gets fired midseason, no one wants to be like, it's me. Like, the problem was me. If they continue losing.
And then obviously it looks great because Nate don't get me wrong, Nate's a great basketball coach, taking nothing away from him. He didn't miss the playoffs in Indiana. Should have never been fired there. Should have never been fired in Portland. Nate McMillan should have never been fired either of the places he was working prior. But,
So, yeah, let's come back to today's game. I'll be straight up today. I think the Knicks respond. The Atlanta Hawks, they have a dynamic scorer in Trae Young who's pretty much running circles around the Knicks defense. But the Knicks have a clear rebounding edge in this game, in this series so far. I think that that's something that could break through today. I'm not going to say a huge performance, but I believe that Coach Thibs will have these guys ready to roll. I have a bet on the spread, but I want to share that I've taken the money line as well. I've taken New York Knicks money line plus 170 to win in Atlanta today, and that's what I'm going with.
The spread 100%. The bet's already in on the spread. Money line right now. My expectation today is that you see one of the ugliest games you've ever seen, because that's what New York is going to try to make it into. They're going to make this into Fight Club.
Sounds like you're on the Knicks too, bro.
I'm on the Knicks today heavy. I like Thibs to adjust defensively. And I think that, I expect a dog mentality. I'm big on Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose is his team's leader. They're going to go as he goes, and he's going to keep them in the game. They're going to keep it close the whole game. I expect an ugly, gritty game where both teams are trying everything they can to get a bucket, because you're going to get that sort of aggressive defense and that sort of like slow pace game, because that's what the Knicks want to turn it into. They have to turn it into, because if it becomes an up and down match, Atlanta's got more weapons. Atlanta's got more guns. I think that the Knicks know that. Thibodeau knows that. Defensively, that's what you're going to get tonight.
The Hawks are the more talented team. They have more players that are equipped for these playoff moments. I know he's not the first guy to think of, but I like to look at the back of the roster first. Gallinari. They have a guy like Gallinari just sitting there in the cut who's a playoff sniper.
Has played in big games.
Veteran. They have veterans on the team. Lou Williams, Gallinari, looking down upon the lower, like the guys that are on the roster. So yeah, in this game, I'm just looking at the stat splits. We see offensively, the Hawks have dominated the Knicks in the first 3 games of this series. But defensively, though, the metrics are going a bit the other way, just in terms of rebounding. The Knicks are crashing the boards. Like a couple of the runs that they made, I went back and watched the first 3 games, just the abbreviated highlights.
Right.
Like a couple of the runs that they made were sparked, like just from them crashing the glass and playing so aggressively. They never quit. The Hawks are shooting well, but the Knicks are starting to shoot a bit better in the series after the abysmal game 2. I'm just going with the system play today. I'm going with the Knicks plus 4.5, but mainly I'm banking on the money line cashing. And how about you?
I'm on the Knicks plus 4.5. I think that because they're so evenly matched, you're going to be able to get a good money line number throughout the game for the Knicks, simply because they're going to be dogs the entire game. You're going to get plus money for them the entire game.
How you feel about the first half, all that?
Not touching. That's too thirsty of a look for me to touch the first half, just because it's an early start. They're both young teams. They could come out and give us a complete stinker. And that's kind of what I'm expecting. Young teams, 1 o'clock start on a Sunday. I expect a stinker. I expect
the Knicks. It's the playoffs, so we have to throw all that stuff out the window. But if you were to go off what we've seen, the Knicks, they play pretty well in these early games.
Exactly.
I respect the Hawks, though. Made some bread off the Hawks since they hired Nate McMillan. I respect what they're able to do. Bogdanovich is one of the best prop players in basketball. They've figured out how to spread the wealth. They understand as an organization that Trae Young doesn't need to drop 30 for them to win.
And he doesn't need to shoot it from 50 fucking feet.
Doesn't need to shoot it from 50 feet. I think he's more controlled. He's evolving as a player. I respect Trae Young. He's projecting well going forward. But I think the Knicks will win today and extend the series. Just push the series further. Not endorsing a series pick, but it's really telling. Let's move on.
I personally have the Knicks winning in 7, but I definitely like them plus 4.5 today. And like I said, I like the money line play, but the fact that they're going to be plus money the entire game, it gives bettors the opportunity to, if they want to take it later on. And like I said, based on game sequence and how we expect it to go, it's going to be so close all game that, like I said, the money line, you should be able to get a good number all game.
Yeah, like the ebbs and flows within the game are going to be evident. I took the plus 170. I took 2 money lines today, underdog money lines. I'm hoping that they can get off to a good lead. You can make some more money in the game going live the other way. Me and Sosa, we've been crushing the live betting basically since January. The first month I didn't even go in on live betting, but
you can't. That's the one thing about live betting. You can't half step. If you see it, bet it and roll with it, because the second you wait, the number's changing. You
Yeah, especially in a high octane, fast paced game like basketball, the odds just flip in a second. Hey, Joe Budden in the chat, he said, "I don't know how I'm supposed to feel about you guys being sponsored by a bookie. They make money by us losing." I just sent you a link in the chat. SportX is a sports book, but there is no ownership entity. The users and the community own SportX. So at the end of the day, just like every other sports book, it comes down to your skill if you're going to win money or not. But with SportX, a lot of the slime has been taken out because there is no ownership entity, and you actually get paid more. I sent you the documentation if you'd like to read about that.
I'm
just
a
don't want to spread
dude.
any false info. Just don't want to spread any false info.
Relax,
it's actually a no-brainer if you just read it. If you take 2 minutes to read that document, it's actually a no-brainer. Why you should probably sign up right now.
Read. Just you can see it's in the fine print.
Thanks for everyone that's watching with us as well. Yeah, we went through this game briefly. There's 3 more games. We can go to it. Let's go to the Suns-Lakers game. Suns at the Lakers. Pivotal game for the Suns.
7.5.
7.5. The spread has changed. The spread has changed since we just actually started the show then. Oh, actually, I'm still seeing 6.5 here, but this team ranking site might not update right away. We know that this is the biggest game of the Suns season. It's the biggest Suns game in 10 years.
Yeah.
Today is the biggest Phoenix Suns game in 10 years.
Yep. In LA, the game's in LA, and it's a 12:40 game start in LA time, Phoenix time, whatever.
Yeah, Pacific.
Pacific time.
Shout out to everyone on the West Coast.
Yeah, glad I moved back to the East Coast. In this game, bro, I'm going back to the well, and I'm trusting Chris Paul and the Suns to keep it within 6.5. Buy it down 2 points if you want. It'll still be under minus 140. If you want a little bit more safety at plus 8.5, right? But I'm heavy on the Suns again. They haven't played a great game yet. They haven't gotten things going offensively. And obviously, we can give credit to the Lakers. Say, oh, they're a good defensive team, a great defensive team, if you will, because they play at such a slow pace and they rank high in just about every defensive metric. Yeah, and Vogel is a great defensive coach. There's can't take anything away from that. It's just today I'm rocking with Phoenix because I think they have it in them to win a game on the road. They were right there. What's crazy is from a betting standpoint, right? Devin Booker, for me, I think he gave away them covering the other night. He could have covered 9, right? Listen,
it was a mental implosion. A mental implosion took place the other day. Even though I like the Lakers to cover that night, just watching it as a fan, the Suns mentally imploded that day.
They cut the lead to 8.
They got sunned by the Lakers. Like,
he takes a 4-shot foul. What the fuck are you doing, bro? That's just the bitter me. Like, when I lose, I don't like it. It is what it is. But
there's smoke and mirrors on the injury report in this game. I'm actually going to pull up Fantasy Labs now to see if anything has come up while we have been speaking.
That's in regards to Chris Paul.
Yesterday, within the span of just like an hour, you have Anthony Davis being questionable. Within an hour, he goes on social media to refute that, saying there's no way in hell I don't play. Then Chris Paul goes questionable. A lot of smoke and mirrors in this game. We know that the information in the playoffs, the way it's delivered, it's heightened to another level in terms of being able to direct dollar flows in these games. Right. Some people are really just betting off of this surface level information, not really delving into the games. But you can't let that alone direct your decision if the spreads are not changing from game to game. Because to me, the spread says that Chris Paul is playing today. If he doesn't play today, I mean, even if he has to play with one arm.
Right. I mean, listen, I don't think you can talk him out of playing. There's no
Donovan Mitchell in game 1 today.
Nah, it ain't none of that. It's all hands on deck. And also, it's about just his effectiveness, bro. Like, he makes a difference because of the pace they play at when he's on the floor. Now, obviously, his ability as a scorer is taken away because he can't shoot the ball the way he would like to, freely and.
To be fair, he's also not even attempting it, but just not even the rest of the roster. I believe we've seen enough from the Suns this season to understand that they have a hard body roster that is resilient. They're well coached. The Lakers are the world champions. They are favored today for a reason. but I am betting on the Phoenix Suns to not only cover but to win the game. I've taken the Suns plus 230 on the money line. When you combine the Suns, not combine them, but when you bet the Suns money line plus 230, I'm going to see if it's changed now. And the Knicks money line plus 170. If one of the two pulls an upset, then you walk away with a unit. So
you win. You can't winning money is inevitable based on the unit system.
If either the Knicks or the Suns win today, I'm winning a unit. If they keep it within the spread, I'm winning even more. So that's my equation for success today.
And don't be afraid, guys. I'm rocking with the spread on both. I'm going to money line the Knicks probably during the game. I just got to see a little bit more. But like, as far as confidence goes, I'm confident in both those picks because I'm betting both of them. I like the Knicks to keep it close, and I like the Suns to make it a game, and if not win it. I really do. AD is not 100%. We know that. Yes, he's going to play. We know that.
Yeah, so much of the lens is on Chris Paul being hurt, but AD is hurt as well. He's one of the most fragile superstars in our game, possibly the most fragile.
Paper mache body.
Yeah, so it's like, he dunks, he slides, he dives for a loose ball, he grabs his ankle, he hits a jump shot, gets fouled, starts grabbing his shoulder. Just the kind of player that AD's been since Kentucky, really. But at the end of the day, also, shout out to everyone that's watching us right now. Follow me and Sosa the Locksmith. Sosa's on Instagram and Twitter. I'm on Instagram as well, but privately, I'm on Twitter. Pretty much giving sports betting commentary 24/7. If you guys can, subscribe to this channel. It's called Frenzy Sports. Going to have a lot of content across different sports. And that's it. Good morning to everyone, or good afternoon, whatever time zone you're in. And we just basically talked about the Knicks-Hawks game. The boy Sherwan, what's up, Sherwan?
Yeah, my boy.
And gotta get Sherwan in here to talk some Cubs. Talk some Cubs.
Baseball talk. Bulls. Yeah. What's up, bro? What's good? My dog.
But we've basically I've already bet the Suns and the Knicks today. The next two games we can talk about them as well. I have not bet anything on these games, but I do have some prop looks as well. We can just go through them and talk about these games. Let's go straight to the Nets-Celtics game. How about that?
Nets-Celtics. I'm revisiting what I've done every game, and that's taking Brooklyn to cover. I mean, they scored 93 points between the big three. Kyrie went 6 for 17. The bench only scored 11 points, and they gave up a 50 ball to Tatum, and they were right there. I think.
You had superhuman performances from James Harden and Kevin Durant.
Right. You got 80 points combined from those two. I believe.
I'll be honest with everyone that's watching. You guys know that, I'm a sports bettor, but I'm also a conspiracy theorist when it comes to sports as well. Sometimes. The other day when the Nets played the Celtics, that game had the most lopsided dollar betting count in the entire playoffs up until this point. You can take that for what it's worth, but they had the bag was on the Nets that night. The absolute bag. They were super leaky on defense. We know that the Celtics are a mysterious team at the crib. Today I leaned the Nets to go up 3-1 in the series. I think the money line is probably a no-brainer. But to cover, I can back you up on that. I haven't bet it, but I can see it happening. And that's just the way it is. I think Brooklyn shows their excellence, just like Christopher Alvarez said in the chat just now. Brooklyn will show their pedigree today. They're too talented, but at the same time, the reason I haven't bet the game is because I respect a team like Boston, even though they made the public bleed over the course of the regular season. I know what type of team Boston is in the playoffs. They're a team that plays well with their back against the wall. They play very well when the general public is talking very bad about them. They respond very well, but I think that game was the last game, and I think it's a stretch to say that they'll continue that into today.
A 50
maybe they'll come out and punch first. They could win the first quarter. They could come out and punch first and shoot well. Boston is still a high volume 3-point shooting team.
A 50 ball, come on. I like the Nets to win this game by 15 plus today. That's how I feel. I mean, if they don't. I mean, these guys listen, man. KD listens he hears everything. Every single person on social media right now is talking about the Nets can't play defense. Tristan Thompson got off. Like, come on. Today, you said, what did you say? The dude say in the comments? What did he say? They're going to assert their dominance. However you want.
Yeah, Christopher. He said they're going to show their pedigree. They will dominate.
However you want to put it, the Brooklyn Nets should beat the brakes off the Celtics tonight. That's how I feel. I got a -8. I might take them on a bands bet between 20 and 25. They're gonna beat the shit out the Celtics today. That's how I feel.
Just pulling up the line right now too. Just pulling up the SportX dash.
And I can't bet on the Celtics. No Jaylen Brown. I'm revisiting the well. Brooklyn and them better get me my fucking money back.
After the economic damage they caused.
After that bullshit they pulled 2 nights ago, come on.
Mob game.
A 50 burger? Come on, bro.
But there is an unknown factor, like an unrecognized factor with the Celtics. Tatum is not really recognized as a nuclear player, but I recognize him as such now. Like, he has the ability to go nuclear at any moment. Not Steph level nuclear,
right.
but the fact that he can do what he did the other night just at a random time means that the Celtics could actually win at any moment.
A volume shooter? Nah. See, this is the thing. It's like he could drop 50 and they still lose. You know what I'm saying? He's a volume shooter. That's what he do. He could drop. If he dropped 50 today, they still lose. He could drop 50 today and they're still gonna lose. There's nothing. Listen, there's nothing the Celtics can do today to win. Nothing. That's
nothing. Impossible.
This guy saying that. This guy. Run
it up.
I got the Nets 100%. And I'm a Sixer fan. I watched us, happily, easily give the people every dollar that they wanted out of us last night. We covered every fucking metric that you would want, right? Brooklyn is seeing that. Milwaukee handle business. Philly having no problems. Y'all give up a 50 burger to Jason Tatum? Come on.
Absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. We see some dollar splits right here, guys, on SportX.Bet. It's a pretty nice tool for seeing how much money people put on different sides of which money line they got on the spread. Just some nice charts, nice stuff going on. We have Brooklyn Nets -7.5. The total is 228.5. I think Brooklyn gets them today and they suppress them and just bully them and maybe even keep it under. The Celtics, I'm not sure that they can sustain the level of offense that they've shown. They just chuck threes up. This is their whole game plan with Brad Stevens. I know Brad Stevens is a good coach. They walk down the court, they run around a little bit, and then they chuck up a three. This is a very high volume 3-point shooting team. They're not the best percentage-wise, but the Celtics live and die by the three. Their rookies do. Their peripheral players off the bench do.
They had listen, just think about this, bro. They got 50 from Tatum, 23 from Marcus Smart, who hit 5 threes.
Yeah, they were throwing them up. They were going in. They were dropping. Everything was dropping.
Tristan Thompson had 13 boards, right? But here's the best stat of the night. He had 9 offensive rebounds. 9.
He's a champion. Tristan Thompson gets a lot of social media flack. This guy's played a lot of playoff games with LeBron. He knows, he's probably the one that had them hyped up to win Game 3. Bro, Tristan Thompson in the locker room.
Think about this. Kemba Walker shot 3 for 14 and 0 for 7 from 3, and they still won the game. That doesn't even make a shred of sense. 0 for 7 from 3, 3 for 14 from the floor, 5 turnovers.
Jonathan Walker's asking, will Joe Harris have another off night? I think he was 2 for 7 or 2 for 8 from 3 the other night.
He won't because Joe Harris is the biggest beneficiary of James Harden coming back because he's the only guard that makes. He was the only player.
Yeah, he can get loose. And
Harden is looking to pass.
After game two, Brad Stevens watched Joe Harris tape for 48 hours.
For sure, and they know this.
He said, Marcus Smart, get him. Go get him.
He did. And this is the thing. It's I remember I mentioned this to you in game 1. Listen, if Joe Harris scores 20 points, you're not beating the Nets. These 3 guys could go for 100 on any given night. If Joe Harris is getting you 20, you're not beating them. You have no chance to beat the Brooklyn Nets if Joe Harris is going. If anybody not named Kyrie Irving, James Harden, or Kevin Durant is getting 20 points, you're not beating them. Not happening. They got 11 points out of their bench the other night. They get 20, they win the game.
Yeah, especially with the push that they made towards the end of the game. Christopher
11
Alvarez is saying he
Durant.
likes Durant props over 28.5. Says that is a lock. Personally, I don't use. Sosa has lock in his name. He is the locksmith. I just don't like. I just don't like the word lock. But Kyrie is the one.
40 burger tonight. Kyrie.
Just off the disappointment of the loss. Kyrie's probably going to torch the Celtics today.
Need Kyrie to hit 4 threes. Give me Kyrie to get me 25 plus tonight. Book that.
So Sosa has a pick in that game, -7.5. I've already played 2. I probably will jump on Brooklyn 7.5, but I like to allot my units a certain way. So I'll probably wait until game time. If I come out 2-0 after the first 2 picks, I'll probably just be laughing and call it a day. Yeah, I'm just saying, hey, it's the market. It's the prediction markets.
Absolutely.
And thank you guys for watching us as well. Sherwan said he's got Kyrie to score the first basket. Exotic prop.
Not a bad
prop.
That's a bad call.
Some design play type shit. I don't know. I've never really played the first basket prop.
If I'm gonna go first basket tonight, I'm gonna go Joe Harris. Off a James Harden assist. That would be my because I think that's gonna be the goal today, is to get other guys involved. Because the other guys played so poorly. It's Kyrie played bad and everyone else played bad except for Harden and Durant. So I think they make an assertive effort today to get those other guys going. You have to, because you know what you're going to get from them down the stretch at the end of games. Any of those guys can get a bucket, but you can't be down 10, 12 points with 3-4 minutes to go and say, hey, Kyrie, hey, James, go win me the game now because you're down 10 because no one else decided to show up that night.
I completely agree. Well said. I have nothing else to say about the Nets game after hearing that. And he just said, yeah, copy, I hear you. Christopher, that's not really an endorsement of like saying not to take the Durant props, because I think that he'll go over 28.5 like 80% of the time during this postseason.
Facts.
because of the fact that you can see with the big three of the Nets, they've really cranked up the minutes. Like they're still using, even though they view
basketball.
They view the Celtics as a flea. The Celtics are fleas, okay? To the Nets, the Celtics are peons. So they're still viewing this series as a tune-up. Like James Harden essentially said after game 1 that round 1 is like training camp for them. To me, that was a slap in the face to the Celtics. But it's true. Can anyone not really say it's not true? They're getting the proper minutes that we know them to have over the long run as being superstars in just over the course of their career. So now we're starting to see these guys. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if we see some adjustments in these props, to try to price the public out.
Well, I mean, and also, like I said, I can't obviously see the comments. But what you were saying was, it's not. I'm not saying don't take Durant, because can't nobody on the other side guard him anyway. What I'm saying is that Kyrie played so badly that I think he comes out chomping at the bit tonight. Like, it's one of those where it's like, I know I didn't play well last game, and you know what you're going to get from Kyrie. Kyrie's going to empty the clip every night. That's just how he plays. That's Kyrie Irving. It's
just like, 4 out of 5 games he has that game, like in game 3. It's just the way it is. His cycle comes around a little bit quicker. He is a smaller guard. It's easier to game plan for someone like Kyrie, but you can't never game plan for that transcendent skill that he has.
Exactly.
You can game plan for his body type or his stature because he's a more miniature person. So you can throw the kitchen sink at him in a one-off game, but it's not good to bet against someone like Kyrie just game to game,
Right. And he, like I said, I like him to come in locked in tonight. That's my anticipation. And also, like I said, these 3 guys, they're big on social media. We know they've seen what people have been saying the last 48 hours.
Just pulling up Fantasy Labs one last second. We're going to go into the Clippers-Mavericks game, and we'll just get out of here. It's the Baller Bet podcast. My guy knows a guy, Sosa the locksmith. We're here. It's the morning, but it's not the morning anymore. Good afternoon on the East Coast. We're here talking to NBA games today, having a lot of fun with the season so far. Made some pretty good money this week. Haven't played props over the last couple of days. I had success with props going into the postseason. Went kind of back to what I was doing, full game spreads, even some other spots within the game, a lot of live betting. Just because I think some of the props are priced out. They know a lot of people want to play props in these one-off games. It's a big game, playoff game. I'm just going to take the over on the props. A lot of the unders are cashing. We look at the Hawks game the other day against the Knicks. The Hawks beat the Knicks decisively. Every starter went under his props. This is the environment that we're seeing in the playoffs. So just be really wary with, especially parlaying props. You know, if you're gonna play your props, I think go for what you know, but don't parlay like more than like 2 of them. You know.
I agree, and the game in any blowout, props are dead. Like that's how that like never ever bet props in a game where you're expecting a blowout. Like, for example, that Memphis-Utah game last night was a perfect game for props. Same game parlay, perfect game. Why? Because you got very little defense. Like not necessarily very little, but it's like the way Utah plays, not to get off the subject, but like those are the type of games where you want to look for props. The games where you like the Celtics, like the Nets tonight, because you know they're going to try and score 160, right? You could literally go props on every player in that lineup offensively. Right, it's the same type of thing with certain matchups. So just as far as props go, like look for the game that you think is going to go over, and that's the one you want to look for the props first. But yeah, I mean we're getting it. What's the next game? There's only one.
Clippers-Mavs. Clippers-Mavs. No play for me on this game. I made my bag on Friday off this one. I know Luka's hurt, but I'm just going to lay off this one. So if you have any thoughts on this one, just want to share real quick how you think the game will go, and then we can get out of here, really.
Clippers. I mean, me personally, I got the Clippers tonight. I got them covering. I got them winning. I mean, we like if you know the game, the first 2 games, complete anomaly. Dallas couldn't fucking miss. There's nothing you can do against a team that's not missing. It'd be one thing if Luka was killing just him, but it's like, bro, everybody when they were in LA couldn't miss, right? And they came out the first quarter and just got out the other night, right? They got out, and then the Clippers pulled it back, and they were leading. The Clippers led the game at halftime. So I think I expect more of the same tonight. I like the Clippers. I also think that you're going to get a slower pace game than the first 3. Simply because you just said Luka's not. They're saying Luka may not be 100%. Again, that could be some bullshit. He could come out there and easily torch motherfuckers for 60, 40, whatever number you choose.
Could be smoke and mirrors. Oh, I have a nerve pain in my neck.
Right.
Luka has been absolutely nuclear on them. Game 3, the Clippers were allowing him to score. They shut all those other guys down. They made them look like bums.
That's what it is.
They're not bums, but they made them look like bums on that day because they opened up the paint.
Made adjustments. They actually played Terrence Mann. They actually got Beverly out the fucking game. Like that's bro. It blew my mind watching this Clipper team in the first 2 games. Like just leaving Pat Beverly out there. Like, what the fuck is Lou looking at? He can't guard. He can't guard that man at all. He can't. He has no resistance for Luka. So put Beverly on a 3-point shooter who's torching you.
We got Igalo in the chat, bro. Igalo, we got to get you on here. We're about to have a nice Arsenal round table.
That's my man. That's my Canadian homie living in England.
We're gonna crank up the soccer round table, make some big dollars.
Facts, man.
We got a couple insiders on the way, so shout out to everyone watching us as well. Pretty lazy day. I had a lot of fun yesterday, bro. I can't even just with sports, not sports. Yesterday was lit. I know it's a holiday down there. Shout out to everyone that's watching right now.
You're a Chelsea fan. Is there any Chelsea fans who aren't happy today?
It's actually crazy, bro. It's actually crazy. But yeah, today I think the Clippers will tie the series. I just want to see what's going on with Luka because why is the line such a monumental player, superstar player? Why is the line only 3 if he's so hurt? If he can't feel his arms or his shoulders or his neck, you know? Because of the smoke and mirrors in this game, it won't be getting any of my money. Made quite a bit off the Clippers on Friday. Happy with my stance.
I'm a degenerate, man. I'm revisiting the well.
Sounds like you're playing all 4 games.
I am, because last night was really good. It was a great night last night. So it was a great night last night. Back-to-back nights actually. 3 days ago, not very bad night. Very bad night. One of my worst. I can't lie. But that's like I said. That's the game we play. That's why we're in it. And I'm in it to win it. I got to play on all 4 games today. I'm actually going to probably make more than 4 plays. I'm looking at a couple team totals that I might, put a half a unit on. I might, and then I'm also going to take a deeper look at props. A couple same game parlays. I'm probably visit for this Celtics game and possibly the Clipper game because I expect scoring in that as well. I think I expect scoring, but you know who you're going to get it from. Like look at the first 2 games. They have no answer for Kawhi. They have no answer for PG.
They have no answer. They have no answer for them. The answer is Luka going nuclear every single night. Just want to tell everyone in the chat as well, just because you are here right now, in the next 2 days probably, I'm going to be running a contest giveaway for everyone that's here. So if you're here, you heard it first. Come. One will be you can just pick, but the other one is just going to be a giveaway contest. We're gonna do a couple some pretty fun things. So just stay tuned if you guys can.
I have my VPN up tomorrow, so I'll have my SportX stuff situated.
Yeah. So, yeah, join us in a couple of days. We're gonna do a contest giveaway. Join us. We're gonna run it up together. Gonna give away some nice stuff, some crypto, or something else. We'll see what's going on. But yeah, for today, it sounds like Sosa's going with the Clippers as well, and the Nets seems like. What's up, Akbar?
Clippers, Nets, Suns, Knicks.
Clippers, Nets, Suns, Knicks. You're playing all 4? I'm going Knicks, Suns. Particularly on the money line. I'm banking that one of the 2 will win, and I walk away with a unit. So I'm going Knicks. I already have Knicks spread, Knicks, Suns spread, but I'm going Knicks money line, Suns money line, and I'm calling it. I'm going to chill on that. If I look good on that going into the Brooklyn game, I probably will take Brooklyn on the spread. But I definitely will tweet out my picks just throughout the day. If you guys can, hit the like button if you're here. Hit the like button.
I'm looking right now at Brooklyn. I'm looking at Brooklyn. Brooklyn first half, Brooklyn first quarter. I'm really heavy on the Nets tonight. I really do think that these 3 cats know the business tonight. Stop. We've been here. This ain't nothing new. We go out here and absolutely obliterate these boys. That's what I expect from the Brooklyn Nets. I expect nothing else. I expect extreme domination because they're just going to play their pace and beat their ass straight out the gym. That's what I expect. I don't expect Jason Tatum to go for 50. I don't expect Tristan Thompson to get 9 offensive rebounds. No. Good fight, guys. It's over.
I was looking at RJ Barrett over 1.5 threes. Just want to say that. I think he'll hit that in the. I'm not playing any props today, but I was looking at that as well. I think you have some great plays today. For me, a little bit less volume for me today. But yesterday was a high volume day for me. I ended up placing 5 bets in total, went 4-1. And we have the tickets, so we're not just you guys need to see some tickets. Just send us some messages. We'll show you some tickets.
Send me a DM if you want to see my tickets. Cool. I'm not.
The tickets are crazy right now. Sosa went 4 and what? No, Sosa went crazy. We went combined 8-2.
Yesterday I went 6-1, and the day before I went 5-2. So
today's a new day.
It's a new day. It's going to be a good one. But if y'all want to see tickets, hit me up in the DMs. I have no problem sending them over. It's I don't like posting my personal information, but obviously transparency is important for a lot of people, and that's easy. I'll happily send over my tickets so you guys can see. Yeah, like I said, this is what we do, man. We get on here, we get on Twitter, we get on Twitter Spaces, and we give winners. This is what we do. This isn't a new development. This didn't just start happening last week. This has been happening. It's just a matter of the people actually learning and knowing who we are. It's not like I'm not being cocky of the sort, but we trust what we do and we trust our system. And what we give you and what we say, y'all can fact check it or run it back, but it's pretty consistent. So that's all that matters to me is consistency.
Consistency, enjoying yourself.
Yeah,
just gotta. Chris is asking for some MLB. But we'll probably have to wrap it up now. I actually have to do something, but we'll probably tweet out our MLB picks today.
Yeah, I'll tweet some stuff out for.
I was looking at the Indians in the first game, but that was yesterday. I'm going to see if anything happened with the pitchers. Maybe they adjusted the rotations. I was looking at the Indians in the first game.
The weather on the East Coast has been so fucking janky, and it's fucked up so much that I think I'm gonna probably stay off of baseball till probably Tuesday. Weather on the East Coast has completely fucked up everything for baseball this weekend. And We like when you're gambling, like stuff like that matters. Like it's just it's too for me. It's too volatile. I mean, obviously, my everyday system bet is the Dodgers, and they blew it the last two games. So like that's the only Major League Baseball bet that I make every day. I bet on two teams every single day: the Oakland A's and the Los Angeles Dodgers.
I like the A's on the money line today.
Those are
we saw share one.
Bet on every day, because if you're a system better, you know that profitability over the last 3 seasons, and baseball is a game that you can track. If you're going over the last 3 seasons, those are the two teams you want to bet your money on every day, because one team averages 93 wins a game over the last 3 full seasons, and one team averages 96 wins over the last 3 seasons. So if we're talking profitability, those are the two teams that, based on the numbers, are going to win you the most money in baseball if you bet a money line every game. Why? Because they've won the most games over the last 3 seasons.
And with the Dodgers run line, that's actually the most profitable bet in all of sports on the run line over the course of the last 3 seasons. If you guys know, like, we really studied the money trends over the course of time.
Absolutely. Like I said, people will say, like, oh, it's a bad bet when they're losing a couple of games. But you got to realize that once there was a stretch where the Dodgers run line this season was plus money for 7 straight games, 5 of which they won. Like, you're getting the best. It's literally the best team in baseball. You're getting if you can get them at plus money at any point you want them, right? Why wouldn't you want that? They have the best rotation, best lineup in baseball. Obviously, Bellinger's out right now, but he came back yesterday. Just hopefully he gets back to 100%.
Akbar said it's 50 degrees in DC right now. Dang, I wish it was 50 degrees in
Oh man.
Oh no, he's talking about that was actually crazy. If you guys don't know, in Canada we use Celsius, so 50 degrees for us is like 120 degrees for you. I thought it was like 120 degrees in DC for a second, but 50 degrees, that's horrible. It's colder in DC than Toronto, probably.
Like 3 days ago.
Yeah, but I'm out of here, bro. It's really fun to talk sports with you, bro.
Likewise, you already know.
This is how it goes all day, every day.
Hope everyone
if you guys come back in a couple of days, we're gonna do a contest right here on the show, the Baller Bet Podcast. Give away some nice goodies for anyone that wants to just interact and just be here while we're talking sports. You can definitely watch it later.
Free stuff.
I think everyone likes free stuff.
And who doesn't like free stuff?
People like to win as well. So today's another day for me. I got Knicks plus 4.5, Hawks. Not Hawks, Suns plus 6.5, but I'm actually going to tweet out the money lines. So, yeah, if you guys can, hit the like button, support us, follow us on Twitter,
get paid
Instagram,
today, guys.
Let's try it out.
To everyone, get paid. Let's make this money off the NBA. They're giving it away, I hear.
They're giving it away. We're going to do another baseball session like this too on camera. Maybe in a couple days. We'll see how it goes.
I'm gonna get on Spaces in like 45 minutes. I'll get on there because I know you said you're busy.
Yeah, I'm about to work on a couple things and just probably get right back into the sports. So the games are actually tip off early today. So everyone enjoy your afternoon.
Likewise.
That's just how it goes.
Everyone,
Peace.
Get paid. Peace.